Just 25 genuinely helpful tips for anyone who travels alone. Traveling solo can be intimidating, so we asked travel bloggers, BuzzFeed writers, and members of the BuzzFeed community to share their best tips for traveling alone. Hopefully, their advice will help you navigate, or even inspire, your next solo adventure. Number 1. If you get lonely, mingle with the locals. Pub crawls and walking tours are other easy ways to meet people in a new city besides hostels. Number 2. Keep an emergency stash of cash, just in case. Keep an emergency fund of cash on you, till the 100 United States dollars per euro in local currency, and a good reserve of money in your bank account. This will especially prove useful when having a medical emergency and you have to see a doctor. You'll have to pay up front, and will get reimbursed later by your travel, medical insurance. Number 3. Practice doing smaller activities alone before embarking on a big solo trip. Go out to eat on your own and take some solo day, weekend trips. I found this helped me get comfortable with doing things alone, so that by the time I started traveling abroad by myself, I wasn't worried. Number 4. Don't book accommodations without checking reviews. Your accommodation will be your temporary home, so read reviews and book with caution. Is the neighborhood sketchy? Are there video cameras or security features? You need to know these things. Number 5. Travel with insurance. In an ideal world, traveling solo would be a walk in the park. In reality, anything could go wrong, so it's best to be prepared with travel insurance that could cover those not-so-pretty travel moments. Number 6. Know your limits. Drinking until you can't stand or going until you can't go anymore is totally not the best idea. It's especially important to know your limits when you're the only person looking out for yourself. Number 7. Keep your real-time location private, even while sharing your travels online. I never post at the moment. If I'm posting a location, it's because I've already left. All of my posts are delayed by several days, or I don't even post until I've come back from the trip. With my Instagram stories, I try to delete them, even when I'm home, at a minimum of 1 to 2 hours. I never share Airbnb, hotel information, or my itinerary during my trips, but I'm more than happy to share them when I get home. Number 8. Just get a selfie stick. You won't regret it. Listen, when other people aren't around or you're too shy to ask them to take a photo, the selfie stick will help. A Bluetooth one is great because you can take it from afar. Number 9. Or, if you have a smartwatch, use it as a self-timer remote for perfect selfies. Place your phone on a bench or something facing towards you. Hit 3 seconds on the watch and smile. #10. Do some research about each destination you're going to and organize the basics, like where you're staying and how to get there, before you arrive. Make sure you know how to get from where your transportation is, airport, train station, etc., to where you're staying. Winging it can be fun in some circumstances, but when you just got off a train and you're tired, you want to know where you're going. #11. Be aware of your surroundings, especially at night. Don't wear headphones, and avoid staring down at your phone while you walk. The more alert you are, the safer. #12. Don't, or at least try not to overpack. Remember, you have to carry it all on your own. My first time traveling alone, I took way too much stuff but didn't realize it until I was struggling to move all my luggage by myself. Bring essentials only. Plan different outfits using the same pieces to save space, and don't bring your whole shoe closet. #13. Take a mini first aid kit. I always travel with Band-Aids, pain relievers, Pepto, Benadryl, allergy meds, antibacterial cream, bug spray, anti-itch spray, and more. Each of these things has been a lifesaver, and they don't take up much space if you do it right. It sucks to get sick in a foreign country when you're on your own, so try to be prepared. #14. Invest in a hidden wallet so you can keep your valuables close at all times. Buy a tiny crossbody travel wallet that you can put under your shirt to hold your ID, passport, money, etc. Separate from your purse or backpack. If someone steals your purse, you'll at least still have money and a way to get home. #15. Spend time curating a special playlist for your trip and download it to your phone. Make a playlist of new songs and artists specifically for your trip. Whenever you hear those songs again after your return, it'll always remind you of your adventure. #16. Give a copy of your important travel details, flight numbers, hostel names, etc., to someone reliable back home. Make an itinerary to give to a worried mom or friend so someone knows where you're at in case of emergencies. I always do this for my mom and it really eases her mind about me traveling solo. Leave your family with a copy of your passport. Should it get lost or stolen, they will be able to email it to you. Number 17. But remember that just because you make plans, it doesn't mean you have to stick to them. Allow yourself to be spontaneous. I can't tell you how many times I ended up chucking out my original plans and doing something completely different, and better, based on meeting new people, both fellow travelers and locals. Number 18. If you're headed overseas, buy a local SIM card so you don't have to rely on finding Wi-Fi. Get a phone card as soon as you arrive in a new country. In case of an emergency, it will be easier to call for help. Number 19. Or at the least, use Wi-Fi to download offline Google Maps of the places you're visiting. Download maps of the cities you're going to so you can access GPS without data. I also shared my Google Maps location, which tracks you without data, so if anything were to happen, my family and friends could possibly know where I was. 20. If you're daunted by the idea of dining out alone, sit at the bar or bring a book to keep you occupied. If you sit at the bar, you're able to chat with the bartender who can usually recommend off-the-beaten-path eats or non-touristy activities. Plus, 9 times out of 10 there are other single diners there, so you're likely to make a new friend. Bring a book to read or a journal to write in. Much less awkward than sitting there doing nothing or being on your phone. 21. Be friendly, approachable, and open to meeting new people. Talk to people. I'm incredibly introverted normally, but I find I put myself out there more when I travel. Try things you wouldn't normally do. It's a chance for growth. 22. Even if you can afford a hotel, consider staying in a highly rated hostel. Most have options for private rooms as well as dorms. Finding a good hostel is the best because if you feel like you need to socialize, you easily can, but if you want some alone time, you're totally in control. I try to find places with a bar or a good common area. I've met so many amazing people who I still keep in touch with. 23. And if you're arriving in a new city late at night, it can be a good idea to book accommodation close to the station or airport, even if it's a bit more expensive. The last thing you want is to be lugging your stuff around an unfamiliar place in the dark while you're tired, trying to work out where to get a taxi or bus. This way you can get settled straight away, and in the morning it will be much easier to try and get where you need to go. 24. Take advantage of free walking tours. Free walking tours are a great way to meet fellow travelers and learn about the city. I always came back from a tour with new travel friends and an idea of what else I wanted to see. 25. If you're a woman and want to avoid being hit on, it can sometimes help to wear a fake wedding ring. If you're a woman traveling alone and don't want to get hit on or hassled on the street, buy a cheap ring and wear it like a wedding ring. As ridiculous as it sounds, it will discourage unwanted advances. Honestly, it sucks that this is something women have to deal with. But if you're worried about unwanted attention, it can be a useful thing to do. Do you have another solo travel tip? Tell us in the comments.